Hey guys, so I just kind of got into the video, just jabbering, and I just wanted to throw this out there. So if none of you watch Clear Creek, Jason, I believe, has got to have heart surgery. And so similar to when I was in the hospital with COVID pneumonia, in the fact that we need to make some herd changes. Jason's is a lot more serious than me having respiratory failure. You know, heart surgery is a much bigger thing than that. But Brooke did a video here in the last day or so, and Jason talked about it, but he's gonna have to have heart surgery. And you guys go check their videos out. They're gonna post some animals for sale, so if any of you are looking for some registered stock or percentage stock or whatever they post up, go check that out. I know on their website they had at least a couple, 2 or 3 animals up already. One of them was one of the dappled does that Brooke was talking about. I would have to verify the other 2. But anyway, you know, so if you guys are looking for some animals, you know, if they've got pedigrees up, stuff like that, check them out, you know, because it'd be a good place to pick up an animal if you're in the market and help somebody out with some bills. So, you know, whether it's my place or not to say that, I guess, you know, at least give it a look, guys. Go check them out and enjoy me jabbering. Hey guys, so I figured I'll just do something quick. Obviously some of these short videos are just boring clips of me doing things, and so let's hope the dog doesn't get out. But anyway, I'm looking a little rough these days. I have a very large package laying here. Anyway, I figured I'd give you guys an update of some things that need to happen around the farm. It's actually a beautiful night out tonight. We've got fire warning, 50-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow again, so that's where we're at. Anyway, I figured let me give you an update, something a little fresher, and then we'll finish up some other clips. So anyway, on the west side of the shed, what do we got? Well, I've got lots of just hay that falls when we are pitchforking hay out of the shed over to the feeders. So that at some point needs cleaned up. All but 3 of the moms have been weaned. I'm sorry, I need to look into the sun for you. All but 3 of the moms have been weaned. We've got Phoebe with her 2 little girls yet, Faith with her 2 little girls, and Mystique is with her 2 little ones that are just a couple weeks old in the kidding shed, which ironically, I think those 2, one of them is already sold or spoken for, the little boy, and the girl may already be spoken for. But anyway, we're down since I was sick in July. We're down in numbers, so we don't have anywhere near the amount of does, breeding does, that we used to. I'd like to fix that, but that's going to be a slow rebuild. So who we've got over here? We've got Sunny, we've got Fanny, we've got Rebar, we've got Spotty, we got Crazy, we got One Horn who's shedding still. Most of these girls shedded their coats out pretty early. We got Ivory, we got Haley, we got Peaches, and Misty over here. So what happens after kidding? This means there's going to be a Brandon having to work a bunch of goats video. It's going to be the same stuff as before. It's going to be me getting a sore back from leaning over, doing hooves with the hoof boss, sharpening all my blades up, stuff like that. It takes a while. I would love to be one of those YouTubers that had somebody like send them a turntable. I know there's some complications that I see with some of those videos where they're trying to get horns in and stuff, but the ability to flip that goat up to the side where I could sit on a stool and kind of hold those legs out. Obviously when they're up, you're always fighting them. I think you're probably going to do that either way, but I love how like a farrier will just pull their leg up between their legs and trim hooves. But so that's kind of where we're at. As you can see, over the course of the winter in feeders, you know, you get, you know, probably 8 or 10 inches of bedding just in this corner of the pen. So at some point I'll have my my buddy bring a skid steer over, and Jared, I doubt you're watching this, but I'm going to show you this so you at least know what I'm going to, you know, ask as a favor. But anyway, so we need to clean that up. Mr. Brett, man, obviously, like a lot of goats, it's one of those things, complete transparency. Depending on the winter and the type, you'll get some sort of a mite, something like that. Brett always gets a little bit of mite damage on his legs, some stuff like that. So we usually come in and treat him with, wow, that is so bright. We usually come in and treat him with some new stock, and additionally with some MTG Plus, because it's got sulfur in it, so that'll help. But he goes through enough grain that he always needs his hooves trimmed, and I have no problem showing anybody trim hooves, because like I don't have the ability to trim hooves in my chute in the middle of winter when the wind's blowing. I mean, I do, but I'm not going to, because it's terrible on all of us. Anyway, Honey looks like probably one of the fattest Nubians you've ever seen, because she's been eating with the Boer goats. We've been debating on whether or not she was going to get pregnant or not. And she finally, I don't know, Shayna thinks she's starting to get just a little bit of an outer on the back side. So let's cross our fingers, but she could really use hooves trimmed. This pen is not quite as dirty, but that's kind of where we're at on the west side of the shed. I want to move this shed, change some fencing up over there, so that way if we have a couple bucks in there or something, we've got a little different scenario. I mean, this is a lot of dreaming, guys. I'm just kind of letting you know what I look at every day when I do chores, and my frustrations of how much I know that needs done, and the money it's going to take. Kind of like this fence line. You know, it's leaning, needed to get that fence line taken care of. Also, this trailer. Bought this trailer about a year ago off a guy up the road, and he never did license it. So he didn't own title. So I had to go through a few months worth of chasing paperwork down, doing stuff like that. I think they call it a bonded title. So I still have to take the trailer down and get the VIN checked on it. I've got to talk to the insurance agent and get him to fill out some forms, some stuff like that, so we can finally get that trailer plated. So that's another thing. But it's one of those things, I don't know. We're going to take the kids to their shows this summer, because I can just throw the tote in the pickup. But I don't, with the economy and stuff like that, you know, we're just single income with Shayna staying home and homeschooling the kids, and she's, you know, stay at home everything. I just work my job. So she's the ruler of the house. She keeps everything rolling. So, you know, to throw a handful of animals in a trailer, throw into an ABGA show, and if I make a farther trip, I'm probably going to rent a pickup from my dad or something like that. I don't like putting him in that position, you know, because then I'm going to drop a couple $100 in fuel, and I want to pay him something decent for his mileage I'm going to put on his pickup, stuff like that, to make it fair. I don't need no family deals, so I like to keep that stuff squared up. But, you know, guys, that and a hotel room and entry fees, I mean, it's not unheard of. You're going to spend $500-600, you know, maybe on a trip, you know, depending on your scenario. So I don't know how much of that will do. So that's just an update there. I went and bought an old rabbit hutch for $50. I'm going to cut that down a little bit. Shayna, for our friend Jess, are hatching some chickens, and they're starting to get the little peck holes or peepholes or whatever they call them. They just started pecking through the shells in the incubators, so I'm gonna have to get started on that. Let's see what else, guys. I know this is rambling. Honestly, I could probably do this as a live and it'd be about as easy. So who do we got over here? So we got Belle, and we got, I want to say it's Crazy's daughter that had broken her horn. this summer. And yeah, so there's 3 girls over here of the yearlings, and then 4 more. I want to say we haven't advertised them a whole lot. I want to say they're on our website. There are, I want to say maybe 3 of these girls that we'd be willing to sell. They're for sale, not on sale, guys. If you ever go somewhere, or if you're somebody watching this, you know, honestly, a cheaper animal, it's harder for me to sell a $300 goat than it is a $1,000 goat, because we can all kind of guarantee what's, well, there's no guarantees, but you can almost tell what you're getting with the higher end animal than a $300 goat. $300 goat, everybody's gonna be like, well, would you take 2 1/4? Would you send me 800 pictures? It's like, no. A better animal will get more more pictures or videos sent to you if you can't come to the farm. The way I look at it is, if I'm serious, I'm going to show up to that farm and look at that animal. You know, and so keep that in mind if you're going to look at an animal from a breeder. You know, it's easy to kick the tires from a distance. And what if, look at this from Shayna's point of view. She's usually the one you guys talk to. And she's got 4 little kids in the house, some stuff like that. So, getting pictures and videos, if it's at the right time, is a lot easier. So if it takes a few days to do that, there's timing involved in that. So anyway, so this shed needs cleaned out again. I didn't rebed it, but it's like leftover grain and alfalfa from them like kicking everything out. But we got some of our girls in here. We got number 8. He's a wether. I don't know if he's spoken for. I want to say he's one of the last ones, but he's an early December wether. And so, yeah, left ear tag. Sorry, I'm trying to look both directions. But he was like December 11th, I think, or something like that. So we got him in here with these girls, so that way if somebody comes and wants to look at animals, then they can see. Like I said, got 2 mamas over here. Probably need to fill the stock tanks. But we got Phoebe and her 2 little girls. And like I've said, believe it or not, they are twins. You can just tell who's the bigger one and the smaller one. But they have very similar builds. This is Jem. This is Macy's favorite. I call her the Flying Duchess. And you got Faith over here. She's changed her attitude a lot. She was probably the more standoffish of the 2 sisters, Hope and Faith. Oh, there's my other girls. Look at that one. Yeah, I want to take her to some shows. She's nice. Anyway, I really like a lot of our girls. We seem to, you know, I may not be the top breeder in the country, but I think we produce some good quality girls for sure. But there is some of these, I believe there's some of these that are spoken for now already. I'd have to check with Shayna, but there's a few of these that we were offering, that she was going to offer for sale. Usually we keep a fair amount of our does back. Go back in the shed. Come on. There you go. Usually we keep a fair amount of our does back and grow them out to be yearlings before we would sell them, or we're going to keep a majority back. But if we have a handful of, if we've already got some of that genetic on the farm, we've kept a couple daughters back in the past. That's usually oh, she's missing her mom. She's over there. But anyway, we've got a few of the mom's genetics already on the farm, so that's when we'll start to offer up a doe, a young doe, just to let somebody else share in it, especially when it comes to a couple certain genetics that are like really good mothers, milkers, stuff like that. And Hope, I don't know, do you still have babies? Did you recycle? Did you get rebred? Either that or she's just really fat and she's getting special treatment. But We thought her ultrasound wasn't super clean when Audra checked it. And so it looked as if she might have started to abort at one point, but never passed anything. So I don't know if she absorbed everything. So if she doesn't have anything in there and she's not going to kid from getting rebred or something, then she needs to go on a heavy diet because she's a chonky monkey. But that is Faith's sister. Some of the boys over here, a couple of them are banded. A few of them are spoken for 4-H weathers. Like little Gizmo here, going to Kansas. Specifically, we've got one boy out here, one of Rebar's boys. He's going to Kansas. And I don't know. It seems like every year you have one of them that tweaked their leg a little bit. You know, hurt it, ended up favoring it, and then they kind of walk bow-legged for a while. So he's still favoring that, but at the same time, he's banded, and he has got to have the largest, how do I say this? The largest bottom of the band structure of a young male goat that we've ever tried to band. We're talking like a big orange. Almost couldn't get the band around it at banding time. Compared to his brother, I mean, ginormous. So anyway, he's in here. The two brothers, Misty's boys. Shadow here because he kind of acted like a bottle baby the way he follows you. And I don't know what his name's going to be. Hey, settle down, lady. I don't know what his name's going to be, but we do have an intact black-headed buck out of Misty. So there's a good program there out of the Pitzer Ranch, Tana, here in Nebraska. But, oh, looks like Shannon forgot her feed scoop. But anyway, here's some of the boys. You know, like anybody, you got a couple of them, get a little sick, start sounding a little snotty, give them a couple shots. That's kind of what's been going on with the weather changes here. Mr. Man over here peeing. There's our, that's Rebar's other boy, and that's probably one of our main prospects to keep back as far as a keep back herd sire or like second or third herd sire back into our operation. Just going to have to be selective. Couldn't breed to his mom. Guess you could, but we're not going to. And he would have some half sisters. So, you know, I don't know. Anyway, here's the little man. And so he's going out to Holdridge, Nebraska once he gets big. Him and Fanny's boy, number 21. And I think this little girl's spoken for already. But that's the thing with Mystique. She's a lower percentage, so we know we're always going to get weathers and stuff out of her. Unless we had a scenario where somebody really said, hey, if this goat or that goat throws a buck, and there may be a blackhead or something specific, or just very good quality, they're probably going to end up a weather with us. So that's just kind of what happens. It's easier to sell a full-blood buck for us with our market and who we're, targeting with product. Like a little product there. So anyway, guys, I figured I would just give you a 17-minute walk around of what's going on the farm. Shed could be cleaned out again, but yeah, I need to bring these guys some water. But anyway, so a couple things coming up. Here in the beginning of April, I was just texting with Cameron. I found something locally. There's a dispersal going on, and they're going to have it at a sale barn. There's some good animals on the listing, the ad for it. I don't know if they're commercial or registered or what the case is there. For me, it's hard because we're not a weather operation. Weathers are more of a byproduct of buck selection, you know, or wanting to see how somebody turns out as a buck, that potential. So, I don't know. I don't know if it really, we didn't have hardly any weathers available this year because we kept most as bucks because most of them are full bloods. So on one hand, you don't have as many animals to offer to your 4-Hers. But at the same time, so here's the economics of the deal. So let's throw out the current economic situation and prices for things. At one point we had figured here a few years ago between grain and hay, and this is us buying most of our hay. We do get some prairie hay bales for if I go out and help with the hay and stuff like that, do some things. We get a few hay bales. That's where we get our prairie hay. Alfalfa, we ended up buying our alfalfa. Tracy did put in some alfalfa, but we only have a round baler, and so that doesn't really help me. So unless I buy a small square or get somebody to come put them up, and even then, I don't have a shed to put up, you know, 300 small squares in or whatever I need for a year, or a couple hundred. So that's kind of hard. But when you figure up all those things and good quality health, keeping the animals up, stuff like that, at one point we figured, you know, like say $500 a doe to keep them up for the year. Now, I don't honestly remember where those numbers would be now, how accurate that was, if it was a guesstimation. But like I said, that's keeping them up, right? If she has twins, that means your break even is $250 a kid. So if I were to bring in a commercial mom, and even then my full blood bucks are going to make them all 50%ers, at least on the doe side of things. What am I going to do? What am I going to do with that? Based on where the current market is, you know, I mean, if you figure I'm not going to offer a 4-H animal under $300 as a floor, which people offer them less than that, and you're taking them at a loss. And so, I mean, guys, think about this. My single income supports the goat operation. And so when economics change, I'm sorry, I can't be a donor of animals, right? You know, I gotta cover what it is. I'm figuring zero input, like most farmers. I'm figuring my time is worth nothing, because I just work all the time. So I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts on that? You know, how do you guys do that? Talk to a guy. Where we get these brushes? The guy that I got those brushes from, I picked a couple of them up for Cameron the other day. They had a couple more, and he's doing the pickle lamb at the 4-H. So basically they offer them real cheap. They have a bunch of them. You know, you border that I'm basically giving them away, you know, type of thing. I'm getting paid back for half or 2/3 of that cost, because by the time we kick these animals home, they're going to stay here from weaning time. Usually what happens is right around weaning or just after weaning, we've had an open house before. A loose statement, right? We just say, hey, come up. Here's the list of the goats. Some people stand around outside the weaning sheds. They pick their goats out. We got a price list. Here it is, you know. It was kind of first come, first serve. We didn't really make it an option to, you know, bid against each other. I mean, I don't know. You can take that however you want to do it. But I don't know. It's just, anyway, that sale, like I said, the picture showed some real nice does. There was a nice buck photographed in his natural stance. Just, it wasn't like he was completely fitted up and professionally taken pictures of, you know, which, yeah, they can change. People can do some miracles with those livestock photos. So I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting. The sale's only an hour away. I'll have to see what day of the week it is, if that's even an option. It'd be kind of nice to drag Cameron to that, if he was interested, at least to go watch. something like that. But something that could be happening here this weekend, and maybe I'll post this video tonight. So there's some sales going on again, and I don't know. We're watching. We're looking to add something, like I said before, into the herd. It's one of those things that now that we've got some more does, like I said in there, we've got to worry about crossing genetic lines, and so kind of one of the first things, we're not panicking like, oh, we need to get something bought right away. This is more of a, if something catches our eye, we'll bid on it. But I don't know. Either we may end up bidding on something on Saturday, and whether or not we physically go down and pick this animal up or have a transporter bring it, I don't know. It would be a lengthy drive for me. It would be probably, I don't know, minimum 7.5 hours, more like 8 hours. So I don't know what'll happen there. We are going to go down to Logan and Olivia's, some goat friends of ours, and I don't remember what Shayna said. Maybe we were going to clip some goats or something like that. So anyway, so that's just a little heads up. I'm sure you'll have another couple videos here that are a little more outdated, but I wanted to just give you guys an update, walk around the farm, kind of what's going on. Basically, spring cleanup needs to happen, and most importantly, number one, goat health. So, you know, watching their feed, with the babies, they're plowing through the feed and getting hooves trimmed. Hoof health seems to kind of be the top of the list, but you know, any vaccinations, if anybody needs wormed, you know, any of that stuff, we'll go through and do that. So probably one of these weekends when it's nice, that'll start happening. So with that, guys, I am going to get in the house and do a few things, and we'll leave you hanging with so much excitement on what happens this weekend. We'll talk to you later.